And hello, everybody. This is Good Body, Good Brain podcast. And today I have such a super special guest on today, Miss Charlene Harry. She is an engineer, and she's been an engineer for quite a little while, although we're not that old. And I want her to tell you a little bit about her bio, about how she got to this place, and a little bit about her background of what got her into engineering. So, Miss Charlene, take it away.
First off, thank you, Sally, for having me here. I am super excited to talk with you and just be able to share this message of me, Charlene Harry, little old girl from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised. And I decided that I wanted to be an engineer after graduating high school. And I became an engineer. I got a degree in industrial engineering, and I wanted to work for General Electric because I had such high hopes. I really admired the company. They were into everything. The hands were in everything. And I was like, I want to work for them. And thankfully, after graduating, I was able to work for them, intern for them. And it's just been a loving experience for General Electric for me. So I was in the fire, of course, because I was young at the time. I was a female and I was Black. And so I had a lot of challenges when it came to me being there, but I was able to overcome them, even though they put me in the fire. And when I say the fire, I had to perform within 3 months. And every 3 months I was able to excel in what I had to do. I even got my green belt in Lean Six Sigma. And
that is so awesome. I love that. Plus they have a really good development program for their engineers. That's when Jack Welch was there. The great Jack Welch was there.
It was amazing to work underneath his leadership. He really is phenomenal. I was proud moment to graduate from his operational management leadership program.
And then you were working lots of hours, right? And you're also starting a family.
Yeah, so you know how it is when you first start work and you want to make sure that they recognize that you are there for their mission, and you want to put your all into it. And I didn't realize I wasn't balanced enough to realize that I was overworking myself 60 hours a week, sometimes even on the weekend. And I said to myself, this is not going to be sustainable. I'm in the sustainable business. This is not going to be sustainable when it comes to developing or building my family. And I had to rethink it. And I decided that I would work for the government. And at the time, my husband was in the military and he was stationed in Fort Hood. So we decided to move from the north to the south. And, we've been together for over 27 years. We've been married for 21 years. We have 4 children, ages 3 to 19. And I relocated to another good old boy network. But this time
in the South.
In the
deep South.
In the deep South. It was a difference because I went from corporate to government, because the government had boasted about work-life balance and being able to, spend time with your family, and even the possibility of teleworking and working from home. And I said, that'll be it for me. I'll still be able to get back and use my skills and talents, but I'll be able to manage the lifestyle that I wanted for both my family and I.
And how's it like now having a 3-year-old?
It's fun. People know I have a lot of energy and I really love kids. And, so I love children. Like, that's like a love for me. Anytime I see them, I just want to hug them and play with them. So it's a challenge, right? Because I'm getting a little bit older, but I really enjoy my 3-year-old. They bring such life to you and what you're doing, because it's a reminder of that creation. It's a reminder of the gift that God has given us.
And everything is new to them. They see with such new eyes, and you get to experience that newness through them.
Yes, it's awesome.
Now, are any of your older children thinking about engineering?
Actually, no. My oldest, who's in college, she's biology, so she wants to do the naturopathic medicine or natural health. She really loves plants, and that's what she's studying. And my youngest daughter, who's getting ready to graduate, she's really gifted with art. So some people don't know my story, but I went to theater for
Mhm.
high school. So I got a diploma in theater, but she's really good with like drawing, digital art. And so she's going to an art school as well.
Well, you've been able to incorporate all of your talents as an engineer, especially your communication skills, which we don't teach enough of that in school. And
Yes.
that's usually what's going to get you the job.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Because like I told you, I tell everybody my story. You know, my story is when I went to the South, I saw a position that said industrial engineer. And that was me. And I was like, oh, this is wonderful. I'll get a job. I'll be able to work. I never got called, Sally. And they had the nerve to put it out again. And I still didn't get called. And had it not been for my skills that I had developed while in college, while at General Electric, while just in my, upbringing and mentorships, right? I would not have been able to obtain that same position. I tell people all the time, I still got the job, you know what I mean? But it was because I had those soft skills. And I talk about that a lot in my book, Co-Create with Confidence, how to leverage your voice and capitalize on your talent, because it's the soft skills that people even need, no matter what degree you have. You need to be able to communicate what it is that you're doing, because your resume, as you can see with mine, did nothing for me. Okay. So you have to be able to communicate what it is that you can do. And I have a talk called Brag to Get the Bag that I share with students so that they can get comfortable with understanding that it's not being vain, but it's about being able to bring yourself alive and show them your character, show them your skills, like you said, in communication, and how you can communicate that.
Because ultimately, even though it's an engineering product, is to serve a human. And we need to understand what the human actually wants before we can get the design correct to actually get it to the product line.
Yes.
Whether it's government or whether it's private.
I don't care what service you do. You need communication. You could be an engineer, you could be an artist, you could be whatever. If you don't know what your customer needs, that's one of my specialties with General Electric is customer service. If you don't know what they need, then you're not going to be fulfilled in your orders. You know, you're not going to be fulfilled in the income that you would like to make, the earned income that you're trying to make. You have to be able to communicate and listen and learn how to articulate the benefits of what you have to give.
Well, I've just grab the book here, Stop Settling, You Are Designed for Greatness. And I'm going to bet that even though you're not an engineer, whoever picks this book up will get some really good insights about how to manage their own careers or manage their ability to be unstoppable, just like Miss Charlene is here. Because we are going to be unstoppable. When you realize that you have a worth, that you have a value, that you are created by the Creator to give that value, and that's your purpose, then there's no stopping us. There's no fear. Even if you have a little tiny bit of fear, just say, hey, God made me for this. I'm just going to hop on in and get my toes in the water and see what I can do.
Absolutely. I love it. It's so important. I talk about the voice all the time because people don't realize that small voice that they're hearing is the voice of their Creator, trying to get them to get back into alignment with what He has created you for. And so I really hone on, and I have an acronym on what voice stands for and how you can hear the right and true voice when you're going through struggles, when you are being challenged, when you are in a good old boy network, when you don't feel seen, heard, and valued. That voice is the voice you need to be able to hear so that you can get through it, because you can get through it if you follow His lead.
Well, tell us about the cars you might finding that.
This book is called Co-Create with Confidence, and in it talks about my 3-step car method to build confidence and manifest your desires. And it's 4 steps to clarity, which is what the C stands for, 2 kinds of actions, and then the R stands for receiving. It's just receiving what the universe has to give you. Sometimes we just have to allow the universe to give us what it is we ask for once we put in the action and we know first the clarity of what it is we're trying to obtain. So I am a big believer of telling my friends to go vroom, vroom, right? Get your car method in place so that you know how to manifest the desires within your heart.
Yes, and preparing yourself to receive that.
Yes.
Whether you go out in nature, whether you, even if you're busy, you spend 5 minutes just alone. I encourage people to daydream, because by daydreaming, all those things just come out. We don't daydream anymore. Just like let those thoughts just wander, 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 and eventually God will find that opening. He can bring that. He can bring that in. I call them sometimes angel whispers, because they come in really quick, and if you're not paying attention, you don't catch them.
Yes, yeah, you don't catch them. I love that. My first piece that I wrote on 5 tips to living your best life, I talk about the daydreaming and how to fall in love. We used to think it was a bad thing, right? Stop daydreaming. No, daydream and start to imagine what life could be like for yourself. I love that.
Yes, imagining and co-creating, and it's a world where we want all of our students, especially since you're speaking to TRIO, and TRIO is a special program. It's actually funded by the government that helps students who are underserved, and maybe they didn't have the home support. Maybe they're the first generation of a person going to a higher education, and TRIO gives them skills to study, skills, how do you learn these particular things. And it's a wonderful program, and I know you really loved speaking to those students.
I really do. I really do. And I tell people all the time, had it not been for my mentor, Odell Bizzell, I would not have even known. I would not have even known that I was a first generation graduate, and that there was a program called TRIO to help those that are first generation graduates, disadvantaged backgrounds. And in my opinion, though, they need the guidance because they didn't have it before, right? So everything is new territory. So it's so amazing to me. And I love their slogan, because I wholeheartedly believe it. TRIO works, right? It works for those individuals that are aspiring to do something different in their family. And I want those that don't know to find out about a TRIO program near you so that they could get involved, because I'm telling you, the higher education and the TRIO programs are doing amazing things.
Yes, and you can Google it, and it'll tell you all the campuses that you can work with, especially if you have a youngster who's maybe in the 10th or 11th grade, who's thinking about going on to college, and he or she might be the very first one in your family, something to be very proud of. And someone can mentor them, because that mentorship ensures success.
It sure does.
It's because another sort of motto is, if you don't quit, they won't quit working with you. They're going to get you to the finish line, and they're going to help you even when you feel like, oh no, this is too hard. Everybody goes through these periods of, oh no, this is too hard. That's part of life. That's part of living.
For sure.
Yeah, and that's why we have prayer and meditation to get us through that. And good old Georgia boy Odell Bizzell, former prison guard, former preacher. Yeah, he's doing good. And he and his partner,
Stan Pearson.
Stan Pearson. Yes, Stan Pearson III. Yes, they're helping people all over the place learn how to find their voice and give their voice in the right places.
Yes.
So I'm so glad that you're part of that TRIO program, part of speaking. I just love having you on today. And I'm going to tell our listeners to, first of all, go get the book. Go get the book. Look at the show notes, because there are going to be some little gifts there from Charlene. She's got the first chapter down there for you to take a look at. There'll be ways for you to contact her, especially if you want her to come speak to your people. And it's a treat. They love it. So I'm so happy that you're here today. Do you have anything you'd like to say to our audience as we say adios?
Yes. Well, I do want to share one tip for you guys, especially those that might be struggling with being overwhelmed and feeling like it's so much going on, because there is a lot going on, ladies and gentlemen, and sometimes it can feel overbearing. And when you do feel that way, as you will at some point in your time here, I want you to try this technique that I really firmly believe in and share with all people when it comes to how to tackle being overwhelmed. And it starts with just taking a breath. But I don't just mean any kind of breath, right? I mean a breath that you recognize come from your creator, recognizing where all breath comes from. That's the breath I want you to take. When you take that breath of understanding, this is not just any breath. This is a breath that comes from the creator. When you take that deep breath, I want you to soak it all in, bring it all in. And whatever you're going through, when you let it out, trust that when you exhale, the universe will reveal to you what it is, the next best thing for you to do. So whenever you feel overwhelmed, remember that breath technique of understanding where the breath comes in, intentionally breathe in that breath. And when you let it out, my friends, know that the universe will show you the next best thing for you to do.
Yes, I like the idea that the act of breathing in is called inspire as opposed to expiration.
Yes.
It's right next to inspiration. So we're breathing in for inspiration, the root word. And it gives us so much on so many different levels. It even helps quell anxiety. It helps our immune system. Just the act of breathing, detoxifying our mind and our body. Wonderful, wonderful tip. Thank you so much for being with me today. I really appreciate it. It's just been fabulous. And I cannot wait for people to listen to you on Spotify. We're going to have you all over the internet. And then you're going to take your recording and put it on your websites, and it's going to be just wonderful. So thank you again so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, listeners. Thank you, listeners, for listening in. Please leave some comments and subscribe to our podcast. Thank you. Bye-bye.